This comes from IGN. EA is canceling its planned Black Panther game and shutting down developer Cliffhanger Games. Wow. In an email sent to staff from EA Entertainment, President Laura Miel said that these changes, alongside other recent cancellations and layoffs, are being done to sharpen our focus and put our creative energy behind the most significant growth opportunities. A very corporate response. In addition to closing Cliffhanger and canceling Black Panther, EA is also laying off some individuals on both its mobile and central teams. When asked for an exact number of individuals impacted, EA declined to comment, of course. IGN understands the total number of affected individuals in this wave is less than the roughly 300 roles cut last month across Respawn and EA's fan care teams, but cannot confirm how much. And Mill said these decisions are hard. They affect people we've worked with, learned from, and shared real moments with. We're doing everything we can to support them, including finding opportunities within EA where we've had successes helping people land in new roles. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Very
It's a
corporate
lot.
response.
It is, and very robotic as always with any kind of corporate response. It's like, yeah, it sucked that we had to, ruin these people's livelihoods, but at the same time, we're pressing forward with like other opportunities and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, well, tell that to the people that you like let go and whatnot, and see how they felt and whatnot. Which, in gaming, like, that's such a common norm to just like let your teams go and stuff. Kind of like the same thing with the Marvel Rivals, even though that's been a big success. But alas, what is it called? Tencent. They're like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of this entire team and like this studio and just restructure and reformat how we do things and whatnot. So, and coming from EA, I mean, I'm not really surprised. So that's like one of the other reasons why I even like put this like story in, because A, it's breaking news, but B, it's another reason why people should not like EA. So it's just like one of those factors where people are just coming to terms with, they're just, it's no surprise that they would do something like this. And this is like the third or fourth round of layoffs that they've done.
Yeah.
So it's just like, obviously they're trying to like gear up for more efficient like productivity. And with the emergence of AI, I mean, they're obviously going to be using that. So,
Of course.
yeah, because it's going to save them a couple of pennies, bro. It's going to save them like a couple of like, dimes and nickels, So, yeah. So I don't know what you guys think, but that's just how I feel, man.
Yo, I was gonna say, I mean, look, I do like that they, she said, Laura Mills said that they're going to try to move some of these employees into areas in which EA has found prior successes in. I think that's something that, I mean, look, it's a corporate response. I get it. Somebody's getting laid off. We know that, and as a company, that's probably inevitable at some point. But I do agree with you, Chandler, with the gaming industry. It reminds me of summer jobs, kind of. You remember when we were kids and we used to
Oh
get these
yeah.
summer jobs in school, and it would, something to kind of get you some extra cash while you enjoyed your summer off. It was like
Yeah.
it was obvious that after the summer was finished, or a Christmas job is another example. It was obvious after the holiday season is finished that you're going to get laid off. It's like it was very apparent. The only difference is that game companies don't do that. It's almost like, let's bring in an influx of talented people, developers, etc., to complete this game, and then while we're in the transition phase of figuring out our next title, etc., it's like, let's lay off a bunch of people. And that's something that I don't know enough to make a bold claim on whether that's the gaming industry thing, but it's the only industry in which I hear news about it. And so that's the
Yeah.
part that gets a little weird. Now, I could be completely ignorant in the fact, but it does seem like that EA is taking some steps to move people into roles that they found prior successes in, which I think is a positive to take away from this. Is that, look, hey, to be honest, look, they're coming up against this new Marvel's game with the Captain America and Black Panther. So like, I'm sure that they're like, yo, we're not going to compete with Amy Hennig and in that team over there, etc.
Yeah.
Like, this Black Panther game, because they had that one game that sucked with Black Panther and all the other people in it, and it's like, that was them,
The
right?
Marvels.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
EA.
Well, that was I think that was Square Enix actually.
Oh,
So
that's even worse because Square Enix makes good
yeah,
games.
Yeah, it sucked, and like it also sucked that it was coming from Square Enix and whatnot, and nobody liked the game. It was boring. It was also just heavy on microtransactions, which another superhero game actually did that, which is the Suicide Squad game
Hmm.
that came out of Rocksteady,
What sucks because
which
Rocksteady could have been in GOAT status.
yeah. Which there's a good metaphor with that developer that I want to pitch in whenever we are talking about Bungie.
Uh huh.
But yeah, no, 100%. Like Rocksteady, shit the bed essentially. But yeah, but that Marvel game, bro. I mean, I was looking so much into it, but then it came out and like, ugh, it sucked, dude. It was one of those games you were like really hoping that it would be great, but it was a disappointment. So
Yeah, well, it
yeah.
sucks, and look, there's and you got Amy Hennig, who is the GOAT, and obviously makes really good games that are live, that are action adventure, and they got a game coming out. Like I think probably canceling the Black Panther game as a concept probably makes
Yeah.
sense. Like, and it probably honestly for the company it makes sense probably because
Yeah.
superhero content gets a lot of scrutiny to begin with.
A
So
lot of fatigue.
fatigue, etc., and you got to do it at a high
Yeah.
level like Spider-Man, or Batman or anything like that. It's like you have to do it at a high level if you want to make it good. And so I think they probably made a good decision in that. I was going to say like later in the article here it says that they're smoking. Some of these like transitions and the successes that they're working on are The Sims, Battlefield, Skate, Apex Legends. So like hopefully they can put some of those people in those teams. I mean, I know I'm a huge fan. I put Skate 3 up there with like my greatest games of all time. I love Skate 3. I played it. I played it like I mean I probably put way too many hours in that game and super fun, very slept on game. And for them to not have a new one is crazy. So that I know they've been in development of this new one for years, and there's a lot of updates on the social media accounts, etc. So like getting more people over there to that world would be great. So like hopefully that like they mitigate the amount of layoffs a lot. Now I want to say before we continue though they did specifically say that while they're canceling the Black Panther game, there's going to be a continued investment within the Iron Man game, Star Wars Jedi game, and so as well as working on some of their mobile titles as well, which I care nothing about. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
so it's just Black Panther. It's not like Iron Man or anything like that is going to get completely cut
Yeah.
yet. You know what I mean?
I also want to point out that we have no idea if this Black Panther game would have actually been good. We have no idea. We also don't know how far along it was in development and whatnot. So there's no like telling like if it would have actually come out and be like a bestseller. So that's another thing about like whenever a game you hear about gets canceled and whatnot. So it could have been like just not going anywhere, and EA was like, screw it, we're just gonna cut this project, reorganize, and then lay off like a bunch of people.
Hmm.
But the other hand is like, the game was in further enough development where EA was seeing it and they weren't liking what they were seeing.
Hmm.
So they pretty much cut their losses and maybe did like a tax write off too, which, you don't have to go public with that actually if you're like
Hmm.
doing that for like a movie or a TV show or a video game. You don't have to like specify to the public that you did a tax write off,
Facts.
but you
Facts.
do have to like specify to the government that you are doing a tax write off. So I don't know. So it's one of those things, dudes.
Well, yeah, man. I love. I actually have garnered a lot of respect for EA, and so I do
Really?
because they
Okay.
well I say that because they've had some real hits like bro like me and you one of our like the beginning of our friendship really was like Battlefield. Remember
Yeah.
that, bro? Like me and
Yeah,
you we
with
met at
with
school.
Dice.
Yeah, was it
Yeah.
and well EA made that game, right? I thought.
Yeah, EA published it. I think so. Dice developed it, but EA published it. So yeah,
Oh,
no,
okay,
you
got
you
you.
are. Yeah,
But
but
I
I mean,
remember
it
me and
was
you jumped in
EA.
there and we were playing it. Like that was the one set in the past, and we played that for a while, dude. And like they also made Skate, and I'm not a big fan of sports game, but I have found a lot of joy in some of them. I used to play in NCAA like when I was a kid all the time because they had like the high
Yeah,
school to college thing, and I've even played some NFL games, and so or some Madden games, sorry, Madden, and because they had like the story where you could like be in high school, go to college, and then make it to NFL. I just like the whole like idea of like leveling up. So That was
Yeah.
something. So they have good games, and look, their sports. I don't want to get into too much into it, but their sports games are just literally copy and paste. But
Oh yeah,
there's some fun
they've
elements to it.
dominated that market,
And
dude.
well, the Madden
They've
games are
literally
well
done.
made. Like they're copy and
Yeah,
paste, but like what more do you want from
and
a sports game? You know what I mean? Like
and
it's
it and not just Madden, but FIFA, dude. Like
do they make FIFA?
yeah, they
Oh,
make
FIFA's
fu-
incredible.
yeah, which funny enough, FIFA is no longer called like FIFA like 24 20 like 2025. They had to change the name to FC like 25 and going forward because they lost the name to FIFA. They lost the naming right to name their games after the organization because of like rights issues and just like other factors where they just don't want to pay for the licensing
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
So going forward, it's just going to be called EA or FC, whatever, every single year. So fun fact. So
I did not know that. Well, I think that
yeah.
they've kind of garnered a GOAT status when it comes to that because look, man, a lot of people find a lot of joy in those games, and so EA is
Oh
the
yeah.
centerfold of that. Like EA Sports, it's in the game. Like we all know that. Like so,
Yeah.
I think they get a lot of grace from my end because I think they are actually more for the players than people give them credit for because they make a lot of games. Like they make a lot of games like Ubisoft makes a lot of games. Like they make a
Yeah.
lot of stuff, and like also they published the Take Two or sorry not Take Two, It Takes Two and the Split Fiction and all that, like which are winning game of the year. It's like so
Yeah.
I feel like people give them a hard rap because they seem like they just seem like a huge corporate Ubisoft or whatever. But like, bro, they don't have which we'll definitely get into at some point. But they do not have the repertoire of Ubisoft at all. Like no one compares them at all to Ubisoft is getting literally Ubisoft is getting they're like a piece of tissue that someone's taking, spreading their legs and swiping gooch to crack up because people are not rocking with Ubisoft right now, dog.
No,
They're
they're not.
not.
No,
And EA does not get that
absolutely
rep.
not. No, I feel bad for them, man.
Crazy, crazy. I don't know where I was
Crazy.
going with that. I've never done that. That was just something that came up in my head.
Bro, it looked
But-
like you were holding a gun or something for a sec. I was just like, David, where's this going, dude?
Anyways,
Like,
Chris, bro, are you an EA fan, or are you? What you
Yeah,
I
rocking
mean,
with?
definitely EA. The first thing I think of is EA Sports, always.
oh yeah,
And I don't know. To me, that's what I've kind of always remembered them as. And yeah, you're right. Those have always felt like copy and paste. I guess like if it ain't broke, don't fix it, though.
Right.
yeah.
But I hadn't realized. I was looking at that while you were talking. How many they've actually done? Like Battlefield, Dead Space,
Dead Space? Are you
Medal
serious?
of Honor.
Yeah, they've done Dead Space. Yeah, they do
Plants
like
vs Zombies.
They did what?
yeah, that too.
Plants vs Zombies apparently too.
What? That's a
Yeah,
classic.
dude. Yeah, dude.
So I don't think I actually like realized the reputation they actually have.
They also did like all the Harry Potter games too, which
What?
I used to play. Yeah, they did all the Harry Potter games. They used to publish all those, and those were always fun. So yeah, no, 100%. Before like Warner Brothers created their own like game studio and their own publishing house, like that's how like a lot of like the Harry Potter games were actually distributed was through EA. So it's
Oh man,
yeah.
I didn't realize. Well, dude, EA's GOAT status, bro. We need to stop. We need to put some respect on Electronic Arts, dog, because they're out here really doing it.